Yo, I know it's been a bit, and I don't have a reason for it really. I just didn't really feel like making videos because, to be honest with you, Overwatch has not been very fun for me. And then, I was just gonna kind of wait it out and see kind of what happens, maybe see if the game feels a little bit better. I've been waiting now for, I want to say, probably about three seasons, and I'll tell you what, the game is just not getting better. It still just sucks to play a lot of the time. So, that being said, the more I've thought about it, I was like, maybe I just don't like Overwatch anymore. I took a break, and that was probably the best thing I could have done, because I took that break, and I have realized, Overwatch is not that fun to me anymore. I love the game at its core, but it's just not a good game right now. I'm not saying that you should leave or the community's dying or anything like that. I am just going to say, though, that I think there's a lot of problems with the game, and that's what this video is mostly going to be about, because I'm going to be moving away from a lot of Overwatch stuff. I'm not going to be making exclusively Overwatch videos anymore. I want to kind of go back to making just daily videos where I kind of just do whatever I feel like, because honestly, it's my channel. I can do what I want. But I do appreciate everyone who came and checked it out for the Overwatch, and I hope you appreciate this last, real video, I would say, about Overwatch, and then I'm going to move into a lot more stuff that I want to do, which will still sometimes be Overwatch, don't get me wrong, but I just want to make sure that I'm not locked into something that I don't want to do like I have been. Wow, that was a voice crack. So, I just want to go into the major problems I'm having right now, the first of which is going to be the tank experience. I'm sure you've heard this a million times, I'm sure everyone's tired of hearing about it, but I just want to say, even as an average player, tank just sucks to play. Why would you ever play tank in this game? It is so bad. I'd pretty much always been a Reinhardt one trick, and I pretty much exclusively played Reinhardt. Until last season, I started playing support, and my rank has never rise so fast in my life. I've never seen, and that's not even to say like support is easy, because it did the same thing on DPS. It's just, tank is such a dog shit experience that makes you, I will say one thing, it will make you better at the game way faster than any other role, because if you make a mistake, you're just cooked as tank. So you learn not to make mistakes, and let's be honest though, that's just not a fun gameplay loop. It's just not. And before people come in and say like, well, tank was always bad, I always played tank as an average player, and I always felt like it was fine. There was definitely problem points where tank felt kind of bad, like when Roadhog was meta, or if Orisa's meta, both of those always sucked, no matter what. But it just has to be said that I could always, and I mean always, queue up for Reinhardt down in Platinum and Diamond, always, literally every game, and it would, sure, not every game would go my way. I would sometimes, lose, I would get my ass beat, but it would never feel this bad. But now in Overwatch 2, I think it's specifically counter swapping has made it absolutely nightmarish, because every single game you play, everyone's just counter swapping all the time. It's all that everyone does, and it is really frustrating to be playing really well and then somebody else just has the ability to swap to a different character that will just insta-win for them. Like, specifically for some examples, I'm a Reinhardt main, so Orisa, and I understand people are going to be like, well, you just ignore the Orisa. You're absolutely right. You can just ignore the Orisa. However, that is such a dog shit experience for you as Reinhardt. It's just, just don't go near her. What do you mean? It sucks. It just sucks to play. And Reinhardt into Orisa is always going to be there. There's always going to be these encounters that just are not even, and even the worst examples of which are those encounters that aren't even in the tank role, because every single time that it's a 1v1 situation and it's the two tanks battling, why would you not play the tank that's going to destroy the other tank in a 1v1? Because honestly, a lot of the time you are going to be fighting the other tank. That's the only thing you can fight. So it's just, tank just is not a good state right now. I'm not going to say that it's the worst it's ever, okay, to be fair, I actually do think this is some of the worst experience you can have on tank, even with this new patch. I think this new patch, all it kind of does is make tanks slightly stronger, which is not helping. We didn't need stronger tanks. We need tanks to be fun, guys. That's what we're asking for, not stronger. And before some idiot comes into my comment and tells me that to make a character fun, they have to be strong. No, brother, Doomfist could be the worst character in the game, and I guarantee he'd be one of the most popular characters still, because he's just fun. Same with Genji, same with Reinhardt. When a character's fun, it's the best possible situation that you can have, because if a character's fun, that means that at least, even if they're overpowered, underpowered, any of that, at the end of the day, you're still going to want to play them. So what I would say tank needs to start doing if they want people to, have fun again playing tank, you need to learn that balance isn't everything. I know that it's very important, but we need to focus on making tank fun, okay? Not making tank stronger, not making tank anything else, not trying to make them more survivable, not trying to take away from other roles. Let's focus on making tanks fun. And obviously, I know that's a lot harder than it sounds, and I'm sure that they are trying to make tank fun. But honestly, I just think a lot of these changes are just kind of missing the whole problem with tank, really. Like, I don't think most tank players, at least, I know the high rank players are kind of complaining that tank felt super unimpactful and stuff, but I would say actually at the medium ranks, tank feels pretty strong. And that, honestly, at the end of the day, I just kind of want to care about the most casual experience, because honestly, that's what Overwatch has the most players of, and I do think it's an important thing to always keep alive as your casual audience. But I just want to say that tank, I don't think, is fun for that. So I think what they need to work on is rewarding you when you do the right things as tank. If you're gonna make tank this super risk reward, flip-floppy, sometimes it's holy shit, I feel horrible. Other times, you need to make it at least feel good that other half of the time where you are dominating. But right now, when you're dominating, even as tank, it feels like shit. You're just well, I'm surviving slightly more than this other guy. We have about the same stats, except my team is slightly better, so we're winning. The next most important thing to me that has been really affecting me personally is quick play. I'm not gonna lie to you, these most recent quick play changes were not it. I am a huge quick play fan in Overwatch, I'll be honest. Even when I take my month-long breaks from Overwatch, I still sometimes hop into quick play every few weeks and just have fun. Recently though, I found it super easy to not play this game at all, because the quick play is so unfun that I can't sit myself down and play it. I just can't. It's not fun at all. It's just as sweaty as competitive. In fact, I would say it's more sweaty than competitive sometimes. I don't understand. Well, I do. It's because they've made all these lever penalties and all this other penalties that you'll get applied to you. They made the counter swapping is super easy. So it just feels like quick play is just as sweaty as a comp game these days, which is horrible, because I always have been able to play hop in a quick play game and I'm all right, this game's all right, and I play it for 30 minutes. I'm this is fun. Usually at 30 minutes, usually more 10 or whatever, but you know how it is. And compare that to Overwatch 2, the lever penalties in quick play alone make it just so much more sweaty, and I hate it. And it does this other thing as well, where those people who are gonna rage quit anyway now are stuck throwing the whole game, and it's even worse. I would rather just have them leave. Just leave so we can get someone else in. I get it's frustrating to have people leave over and over again, but we're always gonna have problems somewhere, okay? So I think Blizzard should really, I want to see some information on how quick play is doing recently, because personally I found that it's damn near impossible to queue up for quick play and have fun. Now that's not to be saying that everyone's having no fun. I just think if you're queuing up for tank especially, it sucks so bad right now, because you queue up for tank and competitive, it's miserable. Everyone's yelling at you, telling you to counter swap, and it's oh my god, I just want to play fucking Reinhardt. Jesus Christ, let me play Reinhardt. Then queue up into quick play, you play Reinhardt, and you know what happens? Your team fucking yells at you anyway. They're why are you throwing? Switch off Reinhardt. This is kind of exaggerating, because Reinhardt's actually pretty solid the past 2 weeks, but specifically for the past 3 or 4 seasons, it had been just, you're playing Reinhardt, you're throwing, switch off Reinhardt. And that's in quick play games where people are saying that. And then it's still kind of the same in here. People will be why aren't you swapping to counter their tank? It's a quick play game, brother. I'm here to play Reinhardt and swing my hammer around. It's not that serious, bro. My solution for this, honestly, would be I just think they need to add another mode. I do. I know that people are gonna be well, you're just splitting the queue times even more. Okay, then add a arcade game mode that is literally just called, let's make quick play unranked. Okay, first of all, let's make quick play unranked. Where now quick play, or not quick play, but there's a casual mode that doesn't have a rank in it that functions the exact same as competitive. And that one, we can put all the penalties in, okay? We can be all right, you leave this, you're bad, because it's a longer game, you're expected to stay there long. I get it, keep that. But then, keep a different game mode somewhere that's just called quick play that has the same rules as normal quick play without the lever penalties. Because we are currently, I at least, like I said, am always usually able to hop on Overwatch and just shoot for a random quick play game and have some fun. But recently, I've not even found myself able to do that because it is so competitive and so serious, even in quick play these days, that I just genuinely don't see myself having any fun nowadays. It's really upsetting because I love this game at its core, and I've multiple times now on my channel, I've said that I don't think Overwatch can die at its core because it's so fucking good at its core that nothing will be able to kill it. Nothing ever, because its characters are so unique. The gameplay is so satisfying. It's so fluid. Everything is just so good at its core. But I will say that quick play being so sweaty, and if we remain this sweaty, I would not be surprised if we start seeing people leave, because it is it is actually hard to play quick play. It is unironically harder to play quick play, in my lobbies at least, than it is to play top 500 open queue. Like, what is happening? I don't understand. Those are my two big problems, okay? So those are the major ones. My other smaller problem is I am really not a fan of these skins that are coming out recently. I'm not gonna lie to you. And this is coming from a casual player, so this is somebody who would actually buy these skins. I've spoken about in the past how I don't really like their prices, and I also don't buy their skins too often anymore. But this is, you're looking at the type of, well, I guess you're not looking at me, but you're hearing the guy who is the type of guy to buy these cosmetics. I spend a lot of money on Fortnite cosmetics and the such. I've spent some money on Mortal Kombat cosmetics before. I am that kid who grew up with these microtransactions that you're trying to attract, okay? And I can tell you, even as that person, and as a person who's so deep invested into the universe, that I am that type of guy who will buy the skins, but the skins in Overwatch 2, especially recently, have been just worse than the Overwatch 1 skins. I think that's really unlucky, because I think there's definitely been some good Overwatch 2 skins, don't get me wrong. But I think overall, a lot of the skins in Overwatch 2 are just worse. And especially in the shop recently, my god, we've been getting so many recolors, dude. I don't want these recolors. I understand it might be nice for somebody who didn't have that recolor, but also you can buy the original skins in the hero gallery nowadays. Like, just buy the original. Stop making recolors. No one, well, okay, to be fair, people do want recolors, but they don't want them to be that expensive, and these are all so expensive. And this isn't even me saying, like, hey, you should make more skins. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you should, if you want, make less skins. Just make sure they're really, really good like they were in the past. And this isn't to say that there isn't good Overwatch 2 skins. Like, the Plague Doctor Moira skin is still, in my opinion, one of the best skins in all of gaming, and I'll stand by that. I think it's actually fantastic. I just wish we got more skins like that, and less skins like, you know, this. Now I just want to shoot off into a few smaller things that I've been having a lot of problems with recently in the Overwatch scene. The first of that is just going to be the community, and I'm not even the type of guy normally to be like, hey, I hate how this community is, so I'm going to let it affect my experience on the whatever I'm doing. On every side right now, it's insufferable. I'm not going to lie, it's actually insufferable. The content creators who are just blatantly accepting everything and just saying, well, this just won't happen because it won't. Or, we shouldn't go back to 6v6 because it was bad, and then they just ignore your opinion. Or people who just insult you for just saying you like 6v6. Or hell, maybe the 6v6 people who are just insulting the 5v5 people and being like, you guys just don't understand the game. You know, just all that type of shit. Now, this isn't anyone specific, but it's just pissing me the fuck off because everyone is just arguing with each other. No one is learning from each other, which has always been my fucking, I have always hated in real life. Nobody ever learns from each other, it feels like. No one learns, and it really pisses me off because it's the easiest thing in the world to do. You just see someone else make a mistake, you learn from it. You see yourself make a mistake, you learn from it. And you just learn. You're always learning. But for some reason in the Overwatch community, they've become so divided that it's just, you're either on this side or you're against me. You're either on this side or you're against me, and it's just constantly that. And it makes me so upset because there's so much we can learn from both. Like, for example, I think 5v5, one of the best things we have learned is quick queue times are very necessary for the game, honestly. Like, we need better queue times a lot of the time. Another thing for 5v5 that we've learned is I think having tanks that are really tanky and bulky makes you playing tank, if it's done well at least, really fun. The problem, there's obviously other problems, but there's just things to learn from both sides. 6v6, we should know by now that a lot of the problems that came with counter swapping and the such 100% were helped at least by 6v6. They might not have been fixed, but they were helped. And there's a lot of stuff like that The community just seems so at each other's throats. The content creators, like half of them feel like they're in like sinking into the depths of despair because they've been playing this game for too long, clearly, which I get that, man. I respect the grind. And then the other half are just insufferable assholes who are yelling at you and telling you you're wrong. I just don't understand why, when it became such a visceral place, I don't know how else to describe it, but it's just everyone seems so angry at each other. And it's normally I don't let that affect me, but it's true even in the game. I queue up for a fucking quick play game and everyone's counter swapping and yelling at each other, and I'm getting told I got tank diffed every other fucking game. And then on the other side of it, my teammates will come around and say those kids were fucking dog shit. And it's like, what is happening? Why is everyone so mad? I've never seen a game like this. Like, I understand that Overwatch has definitely had its points where it's like, okay, we're definitely pretty toxic community, but this is so bad. This is so much worse than pretty much any other community I've ever seen. And I know this might be, people might be disagreeing with me and being like, well, actually, no, right? The community is very, very happy and healthy, but I feel like the community is sunk somehow lower than it has ever before, which is ridiculous. So yeah, I do have my fair share of problems with the community. I'm not saying I'm not also doing that. I also occasionally would do that. But I honestly, taking the break has made me realize just how insufferable this community is a lot of the time. And this also isn't like the content creator classic of like, everyone just complains when Blizzard changes anything. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is people are complaining all the time, everywhere, every direction about everything. No one's even trying to learn from each other. It seems like Blizzard is just in their own echo. To be honest with you, I'll just say it. It seems like Blizzard is in an echo chamber with themselves where nobody is really telling them anything. It feels like Blizzard's just kind of doing their own thing and everyone's just accepting what it is, which I'm not going to say is a bad thing, because that is exactly what Overwatch 1 was the entire time, pretty much. But it's a bit unfortunate that we went, I feel like, from Overwatch 2 being a fresh start where we could get a dev team that hopefully would listen to the community and, you know, come back with some changes that the community wanted. It feels like we're not going that direction. It feels like we're back to Overwatch 1 where the dev team just is making their own decisions and doing whatever they feel like, and then we're just stuck accepting it again, which is terrible, because that was always my biggest problem with Overwatch. Now, the final thing that I do just want to talk about, since this is a video, it's not exactly like a goodbye video or anything. Like I said, I'm definitely still going to play Overwatch every once in a while. But the final thing that I kind of want to end this with is, honestly, I just suggest everyone should take a break from this game. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, if you are not having fun right now, take a break, come back, and when you come back, you will know if you're having fun or not. That's what happened with me, at least. I had been like constantly checking back in on the game. I finally, after last season's launch, I was so disappointed. I was like, I just won't even play. I will play the next time that I get a chance that is just free day. I'll play it then. And I just played it pretty much 2 or 3 days ago. I grinded for a bit. And I just kind of realized after those 3 days, I was sitting there and I woke up this morning and I was like, I just don't want to play Overwatch again. I just don't. And I think that's important to know, because honestly, if you're not having fun, you should quit. And that's not even to be like toxic, like get out of my community if you're not having fun. Literally just, I'm begging you, go play something else. Well, it's happier for you. It should hopefully make the community a little more happy. I don't know. I want less negativity in this community is what I want. So to end this video off with some positivity, then I'm just gonna list off a few like big games that you should go out and try if you aren't having fun playing Overwatch right now. Personally, I've been going back and playing a bunch of some old classics that I never played, like Mass Effect 1 I just beat. I'm starting Mass Effect 2. I've been replaying the Arkham games as well, because I've been wanting to make some videos about them. I'd been trying to get into Marvel Rivals. I guess if you got in there, I hope you're having fun. Multiverses is about to come back. The Elden Ring DLC is coming out. Hades is a really good game. I've just been playing because Hades 2 came out. There's just so many good games out there, and I hate seeing all these people who feel like they're locked into one game and one series, and I hated being locked into that one series, I felt like, on YouTube. So once again, I appreciate everybody who did watch me just for the Overwatch stuff, and I'm not gonna not make Overwatch stuff. I'm still gonna make Overwatch stuff every once in a while, but I'm tired of feeling like I can't upload just because this was an Overwatch channel. So now I'm just gonna kind of go back to uploading whatever I feel like whenever I want. So that's about it.